All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. Now, I am excited to do this video, okay? Now, I alluded to it last night in a post that I made on YouTube. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was just like a post. But I started reading about Dustin Poirier, the kind of quotes that he said. I was watching the video of his post-fight interview and then the press conference and all that. And then I heard what he had said to DC after he immediately won the fight. And I have this picture of exactly where he's at. And I'm just so excited to talk about it because the world has changed completely for him, and I'm not sure if he realizes it yet. So anyway, I also am going to talk about why he's such a savage, and then how that relates to the video I made about Conor last night, where I can basically break that down a little bit simpler, because it seems like in the comments people didn't understand the point that I was making. So I will clarify that. Anyway, if you like the content, subscribe, ring the bell, tell your friends, share it around, etc. All right, so let's do this thing. So Dustin Poirier first, all right? So Dustin Poirier said after the fight, right after the fight, okay, he knocks out Conor, and the first thing he says, he goes over to the cage, he points at DC, he says, "I don't even love this anymore."
Last thing for me, I guess they were saying on the broadcast, did you went over to Cormier and the broadcast, he said, I don't even like this, I don't like this anymore. What was that about?
I just felt like in the locker room, I just felt flat. I mean, I'm damn good at it, but I just, felt flat, and I just felt like really calm, and I don't know. It's hard to put into to say, but that's it exactly. I don't really like this anymore. I don't know.
I don't even love this game anymore. I'm going back to Louisiana, right? So he's mad, dude. He's mad. That's what we saw in that press conference where he looked nervous and whatever. He didn't want to be there. He was mad. And I understand why. I mean, seriously, like all the stuff that I said leading into the fight that I thought was going to affect him negatively, it looks like affected him positively. I mean, listen, I'm not trying to be one of these guys that watches a fight and then if Conor lands his punch 2 inches lower, then Conor has this brilliant approach and yada yada yada. If Dustin misses one of those leg kicks and then Dustin, he was totally, he was messed up mentally and that's why he lost. Like, I'm not trying to do that, but I do think it is notable in this particular fight because of the dynamic between the two guys and how they reacted to it, right? So Dustin Poirier did not want to be there. He said that. He's like, he hated it there. He's just sitting in his room. He's bored out of his mind. Everybody's talking about how he's going to lose. He was mad because he got showed a lot of disrespect. And I was on that train. I will acknowledge that. And I was wrong. And man, I'll never be wrong about that guy ever again. And it shows who he is, right? That guy's a banger. A banger. Now, I said this in every single one of my videos. You look at every one of Dustin Poirier's fights, every single one is a firefight. And the guy is a just killing machine. I mean, literally, he could take so many shots and he's just going to keep on coming. He's like a better version of Nate Diaz. I mean, honestly, because he's got better kicks. He's got, obviously Nate's better on the ground, but man, on the feet, there's just no comparison. But Dustin took this situation where he would have been so disrespected. He didn't want to be there, and he performed under pressure in the biggest moment of his life. Like, this is the thing that he doesn't realize. Okay, so then in the press conference, right, they asked him if he's interested in fighting Michael Chandler for the belt. And he was like, "Are you out of your mind?"
Dana was here a little bit earlier, so he spoke to Khabib. It doesn't look like Khabib's going to come back right now. Are you okay with that? And if so, it seems like, Chandler would probably be the fight for the title, you and him. Does that make sense to you?
No, it does not. Respect to Chandler, great win over a guy. But to come in and beat a guy I just beat and get a title shot, dude, I've been in, 27, 28 fights in the UFC, trying to, everything, fighting the toughest of the toughest guys to get my hands on gold. He should fight Charles Oliveira or something. Let Chandler and Charles Oliveira go at it. That doesn't really interest me at this point. I'm going to sell hot sauce if that's the case.
Fight. See, I think there is a rude awakening coming for Dustin, which is this. He's going to have to fight for the belt, okay? Now, I do agree 100% that this is kind of BS. Like, here's exactly what was going on. I mean, this is not going to be rocket science, okay? The only reason that he didn't take the belt, or Dana didn't take the belt from Khabib and then put it up in this fight, okay, is because he so badly wanted to do a Conor and Khabib rematch. Now, I don't understand why he wouldn't have just done an interim belt, and then if Khabib retired, the interim belt becomes the real belt, right? I mean, that seems like that would have made sense. And man, can you imagine how dramatic that would have been if I mean, seriously, like, it's a huge missed opportunity. Like, if Dustin would have won the title like that, he's already going to be a superstar. That's kind of the point of this video. But he's a huge superstar right there. He goes in there, Conor coming back, fighting for the belt. And that's the thing I've talked about in here a million times. You go into the octagon with all the things you have, and the more things that a guy has that you're fighting against, the more you can take from him, okay? Conor has everything. Conor is the second biggest pay-per-view ever. The second biggest pay-per-view ever, okay? So think about how many eyeballs were on when they watched Dustin Poirier kick Conor's leg apart and then knock him on. I mean, no one's ever knocked Conor out except Dustin, and everyone saw it. Everyone, okay? So this moment before, like, think about the Nate Diaz, okay? Nate Diaz, in the fight before Conor McGregor won, made $40,000. $40,000, okay? They gave him $500K to be a replacement to fight Conor the first time that they thought they were just feeding to a lion. He wins that fight and becomes a superstar. Now, obviously, they need to pay him for the rematch because they need him for the rematch, but he's a superstar. He made $10 million for the second fight, okay? And that is the moment that Dustin's at right now. Right after the second Conor McGregor fight, Nate Diaz, where he took this huge hiatus, right? And the UFC didn't really chase him the way that you would have thought that they would have had they understood what was going on. Because when Nate came back, right, 2 years later, 3 years later, and the whole place was all Nate Diaz, Nate. He went from $40,000 to the king of the show as the co-main event, right? When he fought Anthony Pettis, it was the Nate Diaz show, you know? And that's $40,000. That's how low of a draw he was prior to fighting Conor, and after the Conor fights, that's where he was. And he didn't realize it himself until he got there. And I'm telling you right now, that's Dustin Poirier. He's mad right now. He feels disrespected. He's mad. He's in the press conferences like, I'm not fighting Michael Chandler for the belt. I'm the champ. Why would Michael Chandler get a title shot? Look at what I've done in this division. Michael Chandler beat Dan Hooker. I already beat Dan Hooker. I beat Conor. I beat Holloway. I beat Gaethje. I beat everybody. How would I have to fight this guy for the belt? And he's right, because Dana made a mistake not putting up an interim belt for this particular fight. But here's the thing. He would have had to fight him anyway, right? The only difference is what his contract is, right? Like, what's his obviously it matters to him, right? It matters to him that he doesn't have the belt. But as far as the money goes, he's going to get paid, son. He's going to get paid. Believe that. But yeah, so he's mad. He feels disrespected. He feels like he should be the champ. He like he said, he doesn't even love this game anymore because, I understand how he felt. But what he doesn't realize is there is no comparison of your persona before you knock out Conor McGregor and after you. You are a completely different person now. He doesn't even realize it yet, but I do. Okay? Now, Dustin's fought in the UFC his whole career. Okay? I've watched the UFC and been analytical of everything I've saw in a way that, I don't think everybody is quite as in tune with, because this is my side now. I'm not talking about break down the fight, tell me he stepped this way, tell me he stepped that way. This is my fucking world now. And I'm telling you unequivocally, Dustin Poirier is a superstar now. Whether any of you guys realize it or not, it's a fact. Because now, all the casuals know who he is. All of them, okay? Like, you want to know what I spent my weekend doing? Or yesterday? All these guys, these casual guys who come to me like, hey, dude, do you think I should watch the fight tonight? That's how I know the casuals, because they always come and they ask me, is this a card I should buy? And they only ask me if they're pretty big, Masvidal, Conor, etc., right? And 3 different guys who are casuals who come and ask me, after the Poirier fight, were like, dude, that guy's a savage. What, like, are there any other good fights of his? And so I spent the weekend texting Gaethje versus Poirier, Holloway versus Poirier, Pettis versus Poirier to all these guys, and they're like, oh my God, dude, and they have no idea who's going to win, right? I don't tell them who's going to win. So they're getting to watch these Poirier fights back to back to back, having no idea who's going to win. And I'm telling you, he's the man now. He's the man. And I'm very excited. Who deserves it more than this guy? Who deserves it more than this guy? Look at his career. Honestly, seriously, think about this. If he doesn't get caught with that one shot from Michael Johnson, look at his lightweight run. Seriously, He would have been one of those guys that just literally ran through every single I mean, he did. Like Michael Johnson's not even a serious contender. So every other serious contender he's fought, he's beat. And he's beat decisively. He's finished them. Except for Dan Hooker. But I mean, dude, he's the man now. It's that simple. He's the man. Now, congratulations, Dustin Poirier. You're the fucking man, dude. I actually just emailed him last night. Long story. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, so here's the deal. Now I want to go back to what I said about Conor in my last video, because the comments that I got very clearly, you guys are missing the point, okay? Everybody keeps commenting like, he lost to Dustin because Dustin's a better fighter. Okay, cool. That has nothing to do with the point of my video at all, okay? I mean, I understand why it was interpreted that way. That's not what I'm talking about, okay? Sure, yes, Dustin beat him for a multitude of reasons, primarily because he came in with an exceptional game plan and kicked Conor's legs out. I mean, pretty straightforward. No one's ever really attacked Conor's legs and been successful. End of story, right? In terms of X's and O's. What I'm talking about is my vision of Conor and the likelihood that he's going to go on a run now. And my hypothesis, based on my ability to read people and read situations and look through the glitz and glamour and look at the person and understand what drives people and then understand how that's going to translate to performance, etc., is this, okay? I'm not just talking about the Poirier and Conor fight. I'm talking about Conor's entire way of life, the way he looks at the game, okay? Like, he's in there because he loves the sport, right? He's in there because he loves the sport. He's obviously exceptional at the sport, and he loves it, okay? Before, he was fighting for his life, okay? He was fighting for his life. He's fighting for his dream, okay? Now, think about this. Now, one thing that I've always thought about, if I ever got close enough with a pro fighter, I mean, I have buddies that are fighters, but none of them where I feel comfortable giving them advice in the octagon, right? But if I ever end up in a place where I'm really close enough with someone where I can give them advice in the octagon, I've always thought about this is what I would say, okay? Assuming that they have a family. When you're in there, imagine that you are right here and right behind you, no matter where you are in the octagon, right behind you is your wife and your kids. And this guy is trying to fight through you to kill them. Okay? You're not in the octagon. You're not competing because you like it. You're not in there for whatever. You're fighting. Every bit of your training has led to this moment where this dude in front of you is trying to come through you to kill your family. You're fighting this guy to protect your family. If he beats you, your family's a wrap. Okay? I'm talking a mental state. Put yourself there. Imagine right behind you is your family and this guy's coming for him. Now go fight. Right? And what I'm saying is, who's going to fight harder than that? I mean, I'm serious. If you actually put a guy in a scenario like that, for real, like a real scenario where you have a predator coming at you and you're protecting your family, life or death, it's probably going to be the best performance of your life, right? Like, no one is going to fold in that situation. I mean, you might lose, but you're not going to fold. That is the pinnacle of sharpness that anyone is capable of, because it's your instinct anyway, right? So what I'm saying is, when Conor was coming up before, that's how he was fighting, okay? His dream was everything to him. And so the guy in front of him is trying to take that dream from him. And that's how he's fighting, right? He's protecting his family, his dream, everything that he's ever wanted in his life. And he put himself in that place, right? That's where he put himself. And he was the sharpest and the best at doing that, putting himself in that place, being calm and collected under pressure. Now, I'm not saying that he came in all angry, because he was loose. But in his mind, that's how he was fighting. And what I'm saying is, that is not how he's fighting now. Okay, he's coming in and he's, trading hot sauce and, hey, brother. Okay, you can't put yourself in that mindset when you're going along. You make an enemy out of the guy, and of course you can. I'm trying to take it from you. You're trying to take it from me. That's what Conor used to do, very intentionally. Obviously, part of it's promotion, and part of it, I believe, is how he performs best. He's in a different universe. He's a billionaire. He's not, like, there is no scenario where the guy, like, he loses and the guy takes his family. Like, the guy, he loses, he goes back on his $30 million yacht and he, sails back to wherever. Okay, that's the point I'm making, is that he needs to get back to, if he wants to be great, I believe that part of why Conor was so great is that. The killer instinct that he could put in, like that he just would lock in as. And the billionaire Conor has not showed me that he still has that. You know, he's dancing in the octagon when Dustin Poirier comes out. And sure, Dustin beat him because he was a better fighter that night. That's not my point at all. My point is, this is a different Conor, and I am much less bullish on Conor's ability to perform and win at a high level absent the way he approached the game before. That's the point I'm making, okay? Anyway, that's what I got. So subscribe to the channel and ring the bell and tell your motherfucking friends. I love you guys. Peace.